Okay, today we're going to learn the shiur of Kezayis. How much is a Kezayis? So it's like this. In Tov Pei Vov, there's a very small siman. It says the Mechaber shiur Kezayis yesh omrim dehavei kachatzi beya. He brings the Loshen yesh omrim, even though most of the Rishonim hold, many Rishonim, that Rashi, Toisfes, Rosh, that the shiur of a beya, it's a hefa of shiur of Kezayis, it's half of the beya. However, there's also shiur of the Rambam that Kezayis, it's only third of the beya. So we're going to soon see how we measure the Lamaisa today. Then the Ramo is like this: V'yochlenu b'yachad v'lo me'at me'ad u'b'yirokes tzarich l'maich chalal ho'avir sheben ha'yerek u'l'shar shiur Kezayis b'yirokes atzon v'lo b'avir shebenayim. Originally, that was the kula alma. The way we measure Kezayis, kabeya, it was not by weight; it was by volume. Originally, and the Rambam very strong about this. He says, "Don't, this is what it means, not anything else." So Memela, originally it was by volume. You would put the egg in the cup, let's say, and then if you pour water, whatever, you measure, but how much water came out because of that egg. You fill up the cup with water, and then you put egg into it. Any water that came out because of the result, you put the egg in that full cup of water, that will be kabeya. That's how you measure. So Lamaisa, this measurement of volume would be a very problematic today. You're going to a store, you're buying, you want to know how much is you eating Kezayis of a chal, Kezayis of a cake, of Kezayis or whatever. Well, what are you going to start doing now? Scientific measurement, put the water, put the mortar.
They just stuffed the egg in the cup. They didn't do this fancy stuff. They just like...
Okay, so I'm just saying it's very unpractical. How would I? Don't go by weight. Go. Okay, originally it's how it was. However, the Kaf HaChaim saying, since the Poskim Achronim, a lot of them already translated this to weight, it makes life a lot easier, and he writes like this. Omnam kvar kasavnu leil the achshav haminag l'shar b'mishkal b'mida da'achila. Now we measure already by weight. He says kedelotzas aliba the kula alma, and also beside the lotzas the kula alma, it's more practical. How are you going to go start measuring the volume of things? It's not easy. The mortar, the matzah, and or whatever you need Kezayis, a kabeya. So he says, the gamis on shovek brochas. Okay, so Lamai says like this. Since I know there's a lot of people talk about it, a lot of sforim written about this, and some of them still stubborn that should be done by volume. But Lamai says, like I said, in the most practical way, it's Kaf HaChaim, since the poskim translated it to weight, you could do by it. So by weight. So if we say how we're saying that's obviously nothing new by the Jews. We have also multiple opinions and everything. So Kezayis today more or less plus minus of a little bit. It's an ounce. And kabeya, it's 2 ounces. That's what's acceptable. Because we're saying, according to most Rishonim, that's what the Mechaber also saying, that's why he brings the Lashon, yesh omrim, a softer Lashon. Doesn't say, Kezayis, it's dave kechatzi beya. He says, yesh omrim, to tell you there's another opinion. Anyway, so the other opinion is, like I said, it's the Rambam, which is, it's a third, the Kezayis, it's a third of a beya. So it makes a big enough kamina, especially when it comes now to eating matzahs, how much matzah you have to wait. So first of all, let's talk about the weight of the matzahs by weight. The machine matzahs, they're approximately a 1 ounce each machine matzah. The hand matzahs approximately are 2 ounces. Depends on the bakery. Some of them make a thinner, some of them not. But I'm talking about approximately. So according to this would be, if you're going to go with the measurement of Kezayis, it's half of the egg, half of the beya. So an ounce, if you're eating a hand matzah, I'm going to talk about the hand matzah because one of the shirim already said I definitely don't recommend the machine matzah, not for the Sidorim, not even for Pesach. So we're the sure about this already. But if the hand matzah would be, if you're eating a matzah, the Kezayis would be half of the matzah, or half of the hand matzah, because that would be Kezayis, an ounce. Again, like I said, that's be'erech because some of them are more or some of them are less than that. No, I don't think any of them are less than that. I think most of them, if you eat half a matzah from any brand of hand matzah, I believe it's going to be an ounce for sure. Some of them could be less than half a matzah, Kezayis also. And anyway, so the Alter Rebbe, he elaborates on this, and he comes with a compromise. He says, again, talk about somebody could handle it. Definitely, everybody maskim should try to do, according to the opinion, that the Kezayis is 2 eggs, 2 Kezayis is 1 egg, mele will be 1 ounce. So half a hand matzah for Kezayis. However, the Alter Rebbe says, since it's a strong raya to the shita of the Rambam, there's a strong raya from the Gemara to the shita of the Rambam, that the Kezayis is only third of an egg, mele that would cut the matzah to a third of the matzah, not half a matzah, third of the matzah. I'm talking about again hand matzah, or in grams, and that's in ounces, would be 2/3 of an ounce, or in grams would be be'erech 20 grams. That makes it easier. You eat less. Again, somebody could eat more gesundheit, eat as much as you want, but talk about somebody that he wants to eat the minimum. Oh, so what to do lamai? So the Alter Rebbe says like this. So like this, v'im ken b'morer shu medivre soifrim, the achilas matzah is the araisa. Definitely, the first Kezayis is midaraisa. That's why we say on al achilas matzah. So morer it's medivre soifrim because what says in the Torah al matzah sumrorim yechlu. That was by the time when we ate the korban Pesach. That was midaraisa to eat with the korban Pesach the morer. Now b'yomeinu the morer we're eating on the seder it's midrabanan. Says like this. According to this, achilas Shabbos, you're eating, it doesn't say in the Torah anywhere to eat Sudat Shabbos. It's midrabanan. So when you want to mashar your Kezayis, or anything that you eat at midrabanan, he says, Sheshura beKazayis, Shlismach ala oimrim, which is the Rambam, Shu poches me'at mishlish beya. It's even a drop less than a third of an egg. Like I said, in grams, that would be approximately 20 grams. In ounces, would be 2/3 of an ounce. Aval b'matzah, shu minat Torah, v'chen kol dover shu minat Torah, anything you drink with that, yesh la'achmir kesvara rishonim, which is, that, like I said, most of the rishonim hold that the Kezayis, it's half of the egg. That would be about an ounce, or approximately 30 grams. That's so it comes out like this. So according to this, we eat a lot of matzahs during the night of Pesach. We eat by the Hamoitzi, then we eat by the Koirech, by the Afikoyman. So l'choira, you could say by the first matzah, again, I'm talking about only people that's struggling with that much matzah. If you're not struggling, everybody recommends definitely do, according to the opinion of what the Mechaber brings, that's the Kezayis is half of the egg, which is, again, it's an ounce or 30 grams. That's what you should do. We're talking about somebody struggling, so what you can do is, on the first Kezayis of the when you're eating by the Seder, that's midaraisa, you do over there a full ounce, which is half an egg, and the rest of them, which is the Rabbanon, the Koyrech and Afikoyim, it's all the Rabbanon. Then you could do a smaller size matzah, a third of the hand matzah, which is that's approximately 2/3 of an ounce, approximately 20 grams. Sending by the moror, you could do that. So that's l'choira, and he says clearly. Oh, but then he brings like this. Aval ian bracha acharoino birkas hamozon sheshura bekazayis. I told you on Shabbos you could l'choira theoretically eat your challah if you want to eat minimum only 2/3 of an ounce. That's the Kezayis according to the Rambam. But he says, since you have bracha achroina, you have a shaila, could you done some bracha lechaz on the Kezayis? Since come bracha levatol over there, so the going back to it, when you have to say bracha, you have to be machmir to eat a full Kezayis according to the Mechaber and all the Rishonim with all the Kezayis, it's a 1 ounce, half an egg. So because how are you going to say bracha? Maybe the halacha like those Rishonim that the Kezayis is half an egg, which is 1 ounce, and if you add less than that, it's going to be bracha levatola. So that's why. So anytime there's a shayla bracha levatola, or it's imidaraisa, even though there's no bracha involved, like after matzah, even you don't have to do bracha achrayna. Let's say, even for bracha rishayna, you have to eat mitzvah deraisa. Nothing to do with the brachas. The mitzvah itself have to be dar lechumra, which is a kazais 1 ounce. But if there is no involved any brachas over here, so you could be midrabon, you can make it to do kazais, which is 2/3. Third of an egg, yeah, a little bit less than that, which is 2/3 of an ounce, 20 grams, and that's what also the Kaf HaChaim brings. Lamaisa, you might think. I always thought myself every year like this. Then when I saw this Kaf HaChaim, I start thinking a little bit differently. He says even morer is drabonon, since we have bracha and alachilas morer. Mitzad the mitzvah the rabbanon, you could eat the morer and a lesser the amount, which is a third of an ounce. But you're going to say bracha. How are you going to say bracha? Maybe the opinion is, according to the man the Omer, that it's 1 ounce, it's half a kabeya, then you're going to be bracha levatola. That's why it says whatever it is bracha. Even, and you know the Rabbanon is bringing clearly that when you eat the morah, it's have to be also a full zais, which is 1 ounce and not a third of an ounce. So the sikum. Anything the Rabbanan would do by the Seder, if it's difficult, you could when it doesn't involve any bracha rishona, bracha achroina. Like I said, all the matzahs besides the original matzah we say amoitzi on it, it could be a lesser shiur, which is a third of a kabeh of an egg, which is 2/3 of an ounce or 20 grams, and anything that you say. It's mitzvah deraisa, the first kazais of the seder, and when I say bracha alachilas morer should be a full ounce. All right.